Okay, so you're here because you want the real story on what's happening at the sharp end of the Premier League table. And trust me, things have gotten seriously interesting lately.
They really have.
We're diving straight into this, well, unexpectedly tight race for Europe, focusing particularly on Arsenal. Their hold on second place looks suddenly uh, precarious.
Yeah, precarious is a good word. And the whole battle for the Champions League spots below them is incredibly close. Historically close, actually.
Exactly. We've got some analysis here that really maps out all the recent twists and turns. Our mission today: cut through the noise, give you the crucial insights you need to understand this, well, captivating end to the season.
And it's the speed of the change that's remarkable, isn't it? Not so long ago, people were asking if Arsenal could even catch Liverpool. Now they're looking over their shoulder just to keep second.
Totally. One of our sources lays it out pretty starkly. Arsenal, just one win in their last 5 games. And that includes that shock 2-1 defeat at home to Bournemouth just last Saturday.
Bournemouth winning at the Emirates, yeah.
Ah,
That's,
yeah.
well, that's a turn up. Really highlights where Arsenal are at, maybe.
It makes you wonder what's gone wrong, right? That single result has sent ripples through the top few places.
Absolutely. The analysis shows Arsenal's cushion over Man City, who are third, is down to just 3 points now.
Only 3 points.
And maybe even more concerning for them, Newcastle are sitting fourth, but they have that game in hand against Brighton on Sunday.
Ah, the game in hand. Always crucial at this stage.
Right. If Newcastle win that, they leapfrog City, and, they're suddenly just 2 points behind Arsenal.
Wow. That is a breathtaking turnaround. It feels like just yesterday, we were talking about how comfortable Arsenal looked.
I know. The numbers are quite something. Remember after they beat Fulham, April 1st?
Yeah.
They were 13 points ahead of City, 14 clear of Newcastle. That massive lead.
Yeah.
Just gone. Evaporated.
Is it pressure? Is that what's getting to them, do you think?
Well, it just shows, doesn't it? The Premier League pressure cooker. Any little slip up at this stage, the consequences are huge.
And looking ahead, Arsenal's fixtures. It's not exactly a walk in the park.
No, far from it. They got to go to Anfield, face the champions Liverpool. Then they have a home game against this Newcastle side that's breathing down their necks.
That Newcastle game feels massive. A loss there at home could genuinely see them drop to third.
It really could. And we haven't even mentioned the Champions League.
Yes, the PSG second leg coming up on Wednesday. That's got to be a distraction, surely.
A huge one. And, as the sources point out, their league position, while it looks okay, it isn't actually a 100% guarantee for next season's Champions League yet.
Really? How so?
Well, they're 7 points ahead of Nottingham Forest in sixth, but there's still 12 points left to play for. So, they can't really afford to ease off at all.
Okay, good point. That European adventure adds another layer of complexity then. What about the rivals' run-ins?
It gets quite interesting. City have Southampton away, Bournemouth home, Fulham away. Looks manageable? Maybe.
Seems okay on paper.
Newcastle, though, besides that Arsenal game away, they've got Brighton away, Chelsea at home, Everton at home. Tricky.
And Chelsea, you mentioned them earlier.
Yeah, Chelsea's fixtures look particularly challenging. Liverpool at home, then away to Newcastle, then Man United at home, and Forest away. That's a tough sequence.
Oof. Could that actually, galvanize them, knowing they have to perform against big teams?
It's possible. Pressure does funny things. But let's circle back to Arsenal for a second. One of the articles digs into this worrying trend for them, not holding on to leads.
Ah, yes. The Bournemouth loss, first time in 3.5 years they'd lost at home after leading at halftime?
Exactly. Since January 2022 against City. That stat alone, it kind of raises questions about their resilience.
It does. And the analysis stresses this isn't just a one-off.
Not at all. They've dropped, wait for it, 21 points from winning positions this season.
21. Wow.
Which equals their joint worst ever record in a Premier League campaign. Same as 2019-20. Just think about that. 10 matches this season where they got ahead
10.
And failed to win.
10 matches. Wow. Which ones were they again?
Let's see. Brighton, home and away, City away, Liverpool home, Chelsea away, Villa home, Everton away, Brentford home, Palace home, and now Bournemouth at home.
That's a lot of points left on the table. What's behind that, do you reckon? Tactical, mental, bit of both?
Probably a mix, right?
Yeah.
And Mikel Arteta's reaction after the Bournemouth game,
Yeah.
It sounded like pure frustration.
What did he say?
Pointed fingers at missed chances, poor defending on set pieces, giving the ball away too easily, basically failing to, quote, kill the game when they were on top.
Right. It's strange, though, because looking at their attacking set pieces,
Ah, the paradox.
they
Yeah.
lead the league, don't they?
16 goals from set plays.
Exactly. They're incredibly dangerous from corners and free kicks going forward. But then defensively, yeah, it seems like a real Achilles heel. Conceding 2 against Bournemouth from set pieces, first time that's happened since, what, December against Luton?
Correct. And there's a stat in there, 38.7%. Nearly 40% of the goals Arsenal have conceded this season came from set pieces.
Almost 40%. That's huge.
It's the highest ratio in the whole league. It really suggests, a persistent weakness that teams know they can exploit.
Why do you think that is? A team so good attacking them struggles so much defending them. Seems odd.
It is odd. Maybe concentration, maybe organization. It's definitely something they need to fix fast.
Okay, let's zoom out a bit then. Look at the wider European race, because the second piece of analysis we've got here, it paints this picture of a, well, historically tight contest.
Yeah, the title even asks, is this the best ever race for Europe? Doesn't it? Which gives you an idea.
It really does. So what makes it so special?
Well, the data points to this incredibly close mini-league, basically, between Nottingham Forest in third.
Forest in third. Still feels slightly strange saying that.
Doesn't it? But yeah, Forest third down to Aston Villa in seventh. After match week 35 for most teams, there's just 4 points separating those 5 clubs.
Just 4 points between third and seventh at this stage.
4 points. And the source makes a big deal of this. It's the tightest gap ever recorded in Premier League history this late in the season.
Ever. Wow. What was the previous closest?
7 points.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is, well, it's uncharted territory, really.
Does this suggest maybe the playing field is leveling out a bit? More teams able to challenge the usual suspects?
It could well do. And remember, the stakes are even higher this year. First time the top 5 from the Premier League get into the Champions League.
Right, the extra spot. Huge incentive.
Definitely. So Liverpool are already confirmed. Arsenal look very likely, despite their wobble. That leaves 3 spots
3 golden tickets.
up for grabs between 5 clubs. Man City, Newcastle, Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, and Aston Villa. Intense.
It's tempting to just assume, the established names, the big 6 types, will pull through in the end. Does history back that up?
Well, the analysis looks at that. It mentions past seasons like 03-04, 16-17, 18-19, where the teams in the top spots around this time mostly stayed there. The big 6 tended to consolidate.
Okay, so history suggests the current top teams might hold on.
But there's always a but, isn't there?
Always.
The analysis also flags seasons where teams did slip up late on. Leicester City are the prime examples.
Ah, Leicester. Yeah, I remember that. Twice, wasn't it?
Twice, 2019-20 and 2020-21. Both times they were sitting pretty in the top 4 with only 5 games left, and both times they fell out right at the end.
Ouch. What was the key factor there? Nerves? Fixtures?
Probably a combination. But it's a crucial reminder, isn't it? Nothing's sewn up yet.
Definitely not. And the argument in the source is that this season, 24-25, could be different again. Why?
Because some of the teams pushing hard, the perceived outsiders like Forest and Villa, are actually in really strong form right now.
Right. Form versus historical position. Interesting tension. What about time spent in the top 5 this season? Does that tell us anything?
It's quite revealing, actually. If you look at the number of match weeks each of these 5 contenders spent in the top 5 after match week 10, Nottingham Forest have been in there the most.
Forced again. Really?
You have 21 weeks. Then Chelsea 19, Man City 18, Newcastle only 9 weeks, and Aston Villa 0.
Villa haven't been in the top 5 at all since match week 10, despite their current position.
Correct. Which might surprise Villa fans, given their recent run.
Yeah, because their form lately has been, well, incredible. 10 wins in 12.
Exactly. Across all competitions, yeah. Sensational form. Newcastle are also going well, despite losing to Villa recently. And maybe the lack of European football helps Newcastle. Less fatigue.
Could be a factor, definitely. Less distraction, fewer miles in the legs. Could that be decisive for them?
Potentially. On the flip side, maybe the teams who've been up there longer, like Forest and Chelsea, are starting to feel the pace.
How so?
Well, the analysis points out Forest were maybe a bit lucky to beat Spurs recently. The expected goals, the XG, was apparently quite heavily in Spurs' favor.
Ah, okay. So the result maybe flattered them slightly.
Perhaps. And Chelsea's form, well, it has noticeably dipped, hasn't it, compared to earlier in the season?
It does feel like they've lost a bit of momentum. Who's looking strongest right now, then, form-wise?
Well, Man City seem to be hitting their stride. Most points in the last 5 games. But over the last 10 games, it's actually Aston Villa who've picked up the most points.
Villa again. Consistent over a longer period recently. Okay, but form is one thing, fixtures are another. We touched on Arsenal's. What about the others?
Yeah, the run-in is crucial, and the analysis suggests Chelsea probably have the toughest finish on paper.
We mentioned their games, Liverpool, United, Newcastle. Yeah, that looks hard. And the Conference League distraction, too?
Exactly. Newcastle also have some potential banana skins like Everton and Brighton away before that huge game at Arsenal.
Okay. Who has it easier, supposedly?
Well, easier is relative, but Villa's schedule looks less intimidating now, maybe. Forest don't play another top 10 side until Chelsea on the final day.
That could be huge for Forest.
Could be. And Man City's remaining games. Wolves home, Southampton away, Bournemouth home, Fulham away. They look, quite winnable for a team like City.
Right. So purely based on fixture difficulty, who's got the biggest challenge to stay in that top 5?
The analysis leans towards Newcastle and Chelsea facing the steepest climb, just based on those remaining opponents.
Which makes that Chelsea versus Newcastle game potentially enormous.
Absolutely massive. Could be a 6-pointer for those Champions League hopes.
Okay, let's try and pull this all together then. Key takeaways seem clear. First, Arsenal's second place. Definitely not secure anymore. That dip in form, the defensive issues, especially set pieces, and a tough run-in. They're under pressure.
Big pressure. And second, the race for those other Champions League spots is, well, ridiculously tight, historically tight even. 5 teams fighting for 3 places.
And that extra 5th spot qualifying this year just ramps up the intensity, doesn't it?
Totally. The stakes are incredibly high for all those clubs.
And while history often favors the established teams,
The current form of Villa, maybe the fixture list for Forest and City, it suggests this year could break the mold. Anything could happen.
right. So here's the final thought for you listening in. With this incredibly close race, the ups and downs in form, those very different fixture lists, which of these 5, City, Newcastle, Chelsea, Forest, Villa, which ones do you think will actually grab those last 3 Champions League places?
Yeah, what's going to be the deciding factor in the end? Is it going to be pure quality? Is it those head-to-head games we talked about?
Yeah.
Or just, who holds their nerve best under this immense pressure?
It's going to be absolutely fascinating to watch unfold in these last few weeks, it's for sure.